Hi witches! Today I wanted to talk about some late autumn, early winter herbalism because as a green witch, hedge witch, I work with herbs. I don't even really know titles. What are they? These are just a couple herbs that I like to use kind of in the late fall, early winter, so this time of year, getting ready for Yule, and I wanted to share those today. So the first herb or plant that I really want to talk about today is pumpkin. Now this is definitely a plant I would be using more towards Mabon or Samhain, but pumpkin is associated with prosperity, protection from evil, love, and fertility. It is ruled by the element of water. Gourds or fruits or vegetables with lots of seeds in them are often associated with fertility, which is a little bit on the nose, I know, but it could be a really great addition using pumpkin seeds or seeds from a gourd or squash of some kind. I know I really like to make butternut squash soup around this time, tons of seeds in those. I just think that this could be a great addition to an autumnal prosperity bowl using maybe some cinnamon as well, and some other seasonal herbs that you have on hand. And to speak to its abundance and fertility, right? One time in high school, I scattered a ton of pumpkin seeds from a jack-o'-lantern that I carved for Halloween in my front yard, and the next fall, basically, my mom brought me a pumpkin that I accidentally grew just by scattering seeds. So I definitely see the associations with fertility and prosperity and even personal growth. So just a little anecdote, and that's what helps me remember the associations of pumpkin. Alternatively, you could carve protective sigils or symbols on your pumpkins and place them outside your front door. This is usually done during Samhain, but this can be done for maybe other autumnal holidays, celebrations, etc. And then finally, my biggest recommendation with pumpkins is, of course, to take them to the woods when they start to get a little bit squishy in order to feed any deer or animals. Just be sure that they don't have any chemicals or anything kind of gross inside of them. Next, I want to talk about pomegranate. So pomegranate is association with divination, luck, fertility, and prosperity. It is ruled by the element of fire. And I know not everyone is on the pumpkin or pumpkin spice hype train like me, and I totally get it. So instead of using pumpkin in any prosperity magic, maybe, mixing up a prosperous pomegranate punch with some sparkling apple cider and cinnamon for success. I just absolutely adore the flavor of pomegranate. It's also super good for you. It's really healthy, so drink your pomegranate juice, everybody. Pomegranates are also associated with Persephone, who ate a single pomegranate seed in the underworld, which kind of tied her to the underworld and Hades. But essentially, because Persephone spends half of the year in the underworld, her mother Demeter is sorrowful, and her sorrow causes the earth to die for half of the year until Persephone returns, which, I mean, I get it. I would probably miss my kid too if she was living in the underworld. Pomegranate seeds are eaten to promote fertility, and symbols of pomegranates can actually be found throughout history, especially in portraits of aristocratic women to represent their fertility or ability to bring about an heir. So that was super important back then, and if you see a pomegranate in an old-timey painting, that's what it stands for, so yeah. Next is everyone's favorite, which is cinnamon, which is associated with spirituality, success, healing, protection, and love. It is ruled by the element of fire and is known to draw in money, aid in spell work, and protect the user. On Patreon, I have instructions for a witch's ladder for shadow work that utilizes cinnamon sticks as an option for use in that working because of its healing and protective properties. I wanted to use that herb in order to kind of protect against negativity and make sure that I heal from it. Another one that I know we use a lot, or maybe is really popular on the internet, is stirring in cinnamon to your coffee for success in the morning or a boost. Some people like to blow powdered cinnamon into their door frames on the first of the year, which is something that I learned for the first time on TikTok. It is very interesting if you do that. I really like cinnamon because it's an herb that is commonly used in cooking at this time of year, so it's kind of great for use by people who are maybe in the broom closet or are novice practitioners and are experimenting with the herbs in their pantry before making a bigger jump and going out and getting some of the more I don't want to say advanced, but some of the weirder herbs, some of what people are like, oh, why do you have that? It's a little bit stinky and weird and spiky, and I'm like, yes. So cinnamon is just really accessible, and it's something that I really associate with this time of year anyways. Next, we have oak, which is associated with protection, health and healing, prosperity, virility, and luck. It is ruled by the element of fire. And oak was actually an early food source for people in the British Isles. So like they would eat acorns ground into flour. It sounds seriously unpleasant, but it's important, and it has remained important to the point that it is centered in some like Celtic pagan practices, specifically druidic practices, and is also just kind of a symbol of fall and Samhain specifically, but late fall in general. I also very much associate oak with the horned god. And for me specifically, I associate this with Herne the Hunter and his sacred oak. This is one of his sacred plants, and as such, this herb is closely associated with male fertility or virility. And planting an acorn in general is just a really great way to set an intention, specifically to draw some money into your life. So BRB. And the final herb for today is, of course, the lovely pine, which is associated with healing, fertility, protection, cleansing, and abundance. It is ruled by that element of air. It's a very aromatic plant. And though some people might be using pine trees primarily for Christmas trees, as pagans, we kind of see pine as a reminder of the abundance of the earth, even in the dead of winter, especially when we're looking at those beautiful pine cones. Also a great symbol to use for decor around your house. Pine needles are burned to purify the house, which is something that I love doing for Yule. I usually go to visit my grandparents and they have these amazing pine trees, so I will go and grab myself a little bough. And the way that I really remember pine as being a purifying agent is just that piney scent. Like I just associate that with being clean, and especially with like this time of year, kind of winter time, the holidays and stuff. So it's just really nice. And finally, the branches are said to keep away sickness when placed above your bed, or keep away evil when placed above the fireplace. So you might want to use this plant in some healing or protective workings as well. So those are just a few of the plants or herbs that I use a lot around this time. There are tons more. Those are just kind of like my top 5. This otherwise would be like a 4.5 hour long video. But I appreciate you staying with me for as long as you have. And I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of your day. Bye.